My special guest today, We Met at Acme podcast host Lindsey Metselaar. It highlights the humor in dating, gives young men and women advice on how to navigate through the fast-paced waters of the dating life. You won't want to miss this. And listen in at the end of this podcast for a limited time only special offer from the #1 weighted blanket in the world, My Blankwell. You can listen to her on our weekly podcast, We Met at Acme, which dives into all things millennial, from dating to dating etiquette to sex on the first date and so much more. I am thrilled to welcome to my podcast, and I love her so much, Lindsey Metselaar.
Oh, love you too, Wendy. Thank you for having me.
I feel like the minute I met you, I bonded with you.
100%. It's just an energy thing.
You're just that person. You really are. So tell me, what was the inspiration behind this podcast and the name? I love the name. We Met at Acme.
So I was always like the dating guru out of my friends. Everyone came to me for dating advice, and then all of a sudden, I woke up one day and I was like dumped out of the blue, and I was like, holy, maybe I don't know anything about dating, and I have a lot more to learn. So I went looking for a dating podcast, which at the time did not exist. And I was like, maybe I should just be the one to start this dating podcast and to learn more about dating through this journey. And it's honestly been amazing ever since.
So just like that, you're like, let me go search and find out why this happened.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that was really it. And then I ended up learning so much about dating, about myself, about other people's dating experience. And I just couldn't stop because I was like addicted to the learning and understanding about other people.
So We Met at Acme. Tell me about that, the title.
The title is based on a popular bar in the city, and it just comes from, like, you know, people always ask, how did you meet when you have a partner?
Right.
And I just thought it sounded really cool. Like, oh, we met at Acme. It just rolled off the tongue for me. I always thought Acme was a cool spot, and I just wanted that to be the name because I was like, you know what? We met signifies that it has to have to do with dating.
Right.
And Acme can be anything you want it to be. I mean, for you, it was a grocery store, so.
Right. True. That's what it was. I was like, wait, we met, is that the grocery store Acme? I was like, what? But it's true. Everyone, the first thing they say is, oh, so how did you guys meet?
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so why do you think your podcast resonates with so many people? Is it because everyone's looking for love?
Yeah, I think everyone's looking for love. I think we also talk so much about, like, normalizing things on the podcast. And, like, for example, dating apps. They're, like, over 54% of people are meeting on dating apps these days, and no one's really talking about it. And I think it's so important to make, like, to take away the stigma for these things. And like one partnership I have right now is with Net 10 Wireless, and we're at the event, and I just think it's so important to, like, be in touch with technology when it comes to dating and use your smartphone, because everyone has their phone in their hand at all times. And so right now they're offering this amazing plan. It's $50 for unlimited talk and text and 15 gigabytes of data. So you can be texting, you can be on every dating app possible and meet as many people as you can, because it's a numbers game, as we were talking about tonight. It's really just meeting as many people as you can and maximizing that potential with technology that we have, whereas years ago when people were dating, they didn't have that opportunity.
So I think it's also like in the world of dating apps, whether it's Hinge or Bumble or Match or whatever it is, you think it's okay?
Oh, yeah. I think it's so okay. I think, again, like over 54% of people have met on dating apps. I've been to weddings from Tinder. I've been to, weddings from Grindr. I think it's like so cool to have met on a dating app. There's nothing lame about it.
It's because people are so busy now, men and women now that are coming to their own. We don't have time to go out. We don't have time to go out and mingle and date. And by the way, walking into a bar, do you think that, like, you're going to meet your person? Is it like that nowadays?
Not really. I mean, I don't remember the last time I heard anyone say they met someone in a bar. It's either like it's always a form of modern technology, whether it's like they were set up, it happened on Instagram, it happened like on a dating show, it's like it's so modern these days that I mean, no one really goes up to each other in a bar, and that's okay because times are changing.
What do you think? What is the most asked questions by men to you and women? What do they ask
That's
you?
a great question. I think women always ask me like how to define a relationship, like how to get the relationship to the next level. And men, I'm trying to think because I feel like men are always asking me something different. There's not like a universal. But I would say men probably ask like where to meet quality women.
It's nice. It's nice to hear that, actually.
Yeah.
Where to meet quality women. Because you wonder if men think like that still.
Right. And I think a lot of men are still scared to be on dating apps. Like they feel like it's lame, but it's the opposite, if anything.
Do you think it's more men or women that are scared of dating apps?
I think probably men. Men have always been scared of any dating help.
Dating help, right? Like asking for directions. It's the same thing. Men won't ask for directions. What are the top rules for dating, or the top 3 rules for dating?
I would say, first of all, have an open mind. Don't be like, I have a type and I'm not going, I'm not changing it. 2, be busy. Don't change your schedule around for a partner. That's always a bad idea. And it comes off as desperate. And 3, enjoy the process and smile, because no one likes someone who's like, I hate being single. Right. It's just not fun to be around that person.
I like that. Enjoy the process. I think people need to think more like that. Enjoy the process. It's not like it's a job.
Right.
Enjoy the journey.
And similar to Net 10, there's no commitment. You're going on a date. You can do whatever you want to do. You go on the date. You don't like it. That's fine.
Right. Okay, so best first dating conversations. It's always hard. You don't want to give too much, but you don't want to give too little, but you don't want to talk about exes or past relationships, right? What's your advice on that?
I think what I really love to do sometimes on a date, and some people think it's intense, but there's this article that's pretty famous. It's from New York Times, and it's called The 36 Questions That Lead to Love.
Ooh.
If you skim these questions, there's at least 5 that you can ask and get away with asking on a first date that just take the conversation just a little bit deeper.
Okay.
And granted, there are some questions on there that are a little too dark, but if you stick to the light ones, they're great suggestions on there.
I like that. We're going to have to research that. We're going to put it out there on social media too.
You got to do it.
Okay, so most interesting things that you've learned from all this?
I've learned that nothing happens in your comfort zone. And in order to actually be happy when it comes to love, when it comes to your career, anything, you have to not be afraid of change. Whether that's changing your wireless plan or changing your dating life and leaving a relationship that might not be serving you any longer.
How We Met at Acme is the #1 podcast out there. Lindsey Metselaar, I love her so much. If you haven't tuned into her podcast, you have to. The humor in dating gives young men and women advice on how to navigate through the fast-paced waters of the city life and dating. It's fascinating. Everything about your podcast is fascinating to me. Okay, so I want you to share a few stories with us, good and bad, and also your dream podcast guest.
So I'll start with dream podcast guest because you mentioned him earlier in our dinner.
Oh, no.
Howard Stern.
Oh, my God. I would love him, too.
I just think he is so smart, and he's been through it. He's had dark times where he messed up, and he's really come out on top, and he's really shown that he is a good interviewer and knows what he's doing. So
he's
Howard
honest
Stern,
and he's raw and he's real.
Yeah, he's honest and raw and real. And then some bad stories from dating. Oh, okay. One bad story. I went out on a date with a guy. He ended up inviting me to Denver on a second date. Ooh. I went to Denver, not sure why, and found out that he had a girlfriend. So that happened.
Wait, so that was brave.
Yeah.
You packed your bags and flew to Denver. Second date. Wow.
He had a girlfriend. A good date. I went on a date, actually the first date with my ex, and I ended up choosing a restaurant. and we got to the restaurant and he knew the owner and we got like totally hooked up. It was like so romantic. It was a French restaurant. He spoke French. They sent us like free dishes. It was really, really cute. And then we walked through Washington Square Park and we had a kiss. It was a really good date.
Wow. Amazing.
Like a typical New York date.
That does sound like that. Okay, so should we stop searching for our soulmates?
Probably. I think we put like expectations are the thief of joy, and like having any expectations to like meet your soulmate or you finding one quality about someone and making it, oh my God, they have to be my husband. It just ruins the enjoyment of the moment. So just like live in the moment, however you're feeling, like take it day by day. Don't make these assumptions that someone's going to be your husband, your wife, your soulmate, whatever it might be.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy.
Okay, texting and dating. It's a hard fine line, isn't it?
It's a hard fine line. We talked about this a little bit at dinner. I like to text my partner all the time. And like lucky for me, I, can use a plan like Net 10 where it's like unlimited texting because I don't know what I would do without unlimited texting.
Right.
I think some people are more talking on the phone people. Some people like different things. I'm a texter.
I am too. Mm-hmm. I like that connection. And sometimes it's hard to read between the texts too. So I guess you have to be careful a little bit. But I definitely like that. And like after the first date, do you think they should text you?
Oh yeah. You're not texting them. They should text you if they invited you on the date.
Agree. Okay. So right amount of time to date someone before you get married.
Depends on age completely. If you are 30 and above and you know yourself, it could be anywhere from maybe even 6 months to 4 years. If you're in your early 20s, like gotta give it a good 5 years.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, early 20s, I agree. Okay. Chances of finding love on a random night out. I'm going out. I'm going to be at a bar. I'm going to find the love of my life, which in the old days, maybe that was possible. I don't know now.
They're high if you don't say you're going to find the love of your life and if you're just having a spontaneous night with your friends, because that's when the energy is really real and exciting. Is like when you're truly enjoying yourself and you're not looking is when you find it.
Yeah, that's so true. In relationships, we should be ... what?
We should be happy? Is that too general?
I think that's perfect, actually. We should be happy, right? We should be joyous. We should be happy. Do you believe in living together first?
Oh, yeah. You have to live with someone first.
Nowadays, I think it's different than the old-fashioned days, and marriages and life isn't like that, like how it used to be.
You gotta live with them.
Okay, you gotta live with them. Okay, so dating in the digital world, it's hard. It's harder now, or it's easier. It could be a little bit of both, right?
It's a little bit of both, but I think honestly, it's just an additional help for us that we have the opportunity to have different mediums where we can put ourselves out there. So back in the day, like if you didn't get a phone call, like they were either dead or not interested in you. But now you can communicate on so many different channels in so many different ways. And it's great.
It's really amazing. It is. So if you haven't listened to our podcast yet, and I'm sure you've had, We Met at Acme, Lindsey Metselaar, you have to listen to her, relationship expert. She's the kindest person in the whole planet. You're like everything and everything not that I expected to meet.
Oh my God.
And I'm just in awe.
I'm
in awe of you. Like what you built and what you've done and your experience, and you're so warm and genuine, and I think so many people can learn from you, and like we all need this in our life, whether you're older or younger, like we all need someone to, it's different. The world is different now than it used to be.
Yep.
So I think that the world of dating, we all need this little push, we all need this little advice, we all need this little laugh at ourselves and to follow this journey together. So it's amazing, and you're absolutely a delight.
Thank you, Wendy. It was so amazing to meet you.
Same here. We're hugging and we're
hugging.
A love fest, and this is like really special. So you'll be back again. We're going to spend an hour together soon.
I can't wait.
And it'll be great. Last minute piece of advice for all those out there looking and searching for love.
Last minute piece of advice: be who you are. Don't change for someone else, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think everyone's scared to put themselves out there. It's a scary thing to put yourself out there.
Nothing to be afraid of. It's like freshman year. Everyone's trying to make new friends.
Oh, I like that. That's so true. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my podcast channel